Good morning, everyone. It's a cold morning here. No fire going, no heater on. Just put on a few more clothes, right? Well, it's one thing here in this house. If I make a fire, then I kind of have to keep remembering to put more in, right? This is such a huge house. It's just kind of ridiculous. As I said, we had another plan to begin with, and the plan changed, and yeah, not for the better. Okay. Well, anywho, yeah, changing things. And really, when it comes down to once I start moving, it's not cold enough yet. It does. When it gets pretty cold, it's probably about 50 degrees here in the house, right? Most people, blah, 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 blah. It's not bad. I said, just put on a few more clothes. And if that's one needs, and I'm in menopause, so hot flashes come in really handy in the wintertime. Yeah, they do. Well, how about everyone else? Well, anybody else, if they want to, they can make a fire. Or are they waiting for me to make one? Why? They're not. They would if they wanted to. So, I got into baking mode yesterday. I had to use up some whole wheat flour that I could tell that I didn't put it in I wasn't here. I forgot. Didn't put it in the freezer in the summertime, and it just gets to yeah, okay. So we don't have air conditioning either. We have a unit in the window if it's needed here and there downstairs, and so I realized suddenly, this is starting to smell a little bit like it might want to go bad. So I used it up all yesterday, made 3 big loaves of bread. There goes Sage. It's like he can hear me up here in my room. Yeah, well, so cute. And because I only used whole wheat, and I put some chili in it, and Italian seasoning, Italian herbs. I put more in it. I can't remember. See, I should write all this stuff down because it ended up tasting really, really good. But Paul Hollywood from the British baking show would say, "Yeah, you overproofed it," which I absolutely did. It was so much of a dough that I wanted to make sure he proofed enough. And I overproofed it a little bit. But so it's really dense. It's really dense, but it's baked and it tastes delicious. And it's, I have to say, very good. Uh, Not perfect, but really good. So I put 2 loaves in the freezer and I left one out, right? Well, yeah, we're not enough people here to eat that much bread, right, in such a short amount of time that the bread would stay, not go bad, moldy or something. Then I also had some uh, cornmeal. I thought, man, I like cornbread here and there, but I'm not a big fan of it. And again, so if I bake it, right? Yeah, then what am I going to do? Well, the pig's always, well, then why bake it, right? So I thought, I'm going to make me one of those sweet breads. Yes, so I did. And it too came out really, really good. And I used a Google Hope form. Uh, I have no idea what that's called in English. There's every once in a while still a word. Yes, Google Hope. It's one of those it's a pan and has often a little uh, how do you say? Uh, it's formed in a certain way, right? Yes, to make the cake look good, and it has that hole on the inside. Okay, now people go, oh yeah, I know what that is. All right. So I made one of those, and then I cooked a delicious meal for us as well. Is that all I did? I sure did. But that took up a good chunk of time, and I had to be down in the kitchen, right? Yes, you don't walk away from your pigs. That's a bad idea. So I started cleaning the chairs. I don't think I've cleaned these kitchen chairs, which are white, yeah, in gosh, 2 or 3 years, maybe even more. Yeah, you wipe them down a little bit, but I gave him that real good cleaning yesterday. Yes, yeah. Watched some CSI to go with that. Oh, CSI. I can watch these again and again and again. Just interesting. Doesn't really get boring. Something in the background, right, while you're doing that kind of job that, doesn't really require a whole lot of brain. Anywho, so I did that, and then I got into the little bar stools that we have, about three of them, and they all needed a little overhaul. And man, I love that wax that my brother-in-law has. I used it first. I cleaned it again. You had to just everything just needed good cleaning, and then so overhaul of my furniture. Yes, well, I have a really nice kitchen now, right? So one could just throw all that out and get new stuff. Okay, I don't have money for that. I don't want anybody else to spend money on that. I look at what I have and go, ha! I can revamp that, right? They look great. So one of them I painted, the other one, because it was already painted, the other one I sanded down, left the wood, put that dark wax on it, and then, of course, how do you say, polished it, and it gets shiny as well. And then for the top, my husband got me these reusable, washable tops for bowls, right? Yeah, yes, that you just kind of uh, they have an elastic in it, they're round, you just put over top, and then you're not using foil, you're not using plastic. I love them things, and I use them a lot. And I thought, I bet you one of those is big enough to actually fit over that stool. That just, the fabric's not so pretty anymore, it's kind of stained. And it didn't quite fit. And I'm going, hey, I can make that myself, and I can make it in a dark enough fabric that you can't see everything all the time, right? Make a couple of them. So I have two stools that are like that. So I'll make the 3 or 4 of them, and then I have some to switch out, right? Maybe I'll make some Christmas ones for Christmas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like doing stuff like that. I have my pillows are covered in Christmas sleeves as well, pillowcases downstairs on the couch. And then when it's Christmas is over, take them back off, put them away, and next year, okay, all right. And I got my Christmas towels, and yeah, okay, all right. See, yeah, 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 yeah. I even have a Christmas shower curtain. Yeah. Okay. So I'll make a couple of those, and then I'll make a couple just regular ones. Yeah. I love doing stuff like that. I really do. Anywho, so there it is. Let's keep going here. That was my day yesterday. And oh, my poor brother-in-law, he has some kind of an injury. We're not sure what it is on his leg, and it's not looking good. Well, we don't know what it is, but it's painful for him. So he called, and they said, yeah, come on into the ER, right? Yes, because they were worried about the pain, and because for how long has he already had that? And it's not an injury that's open or anything, like the skin is open. It's underneath the skin. So he leaves here about noon, and he told me he got to the ER with doing a couple other things about 1:30 or something. And he calls me about 6 o'clock, guys. 6 o'clock in the evening. He says, I'm still here. I said, what, you haven't even been seen? No, they took x-rays and this, that, and now I'm waiting for the results. I said, what? I said, how long have you been there? He said, since about 1:30. I'm going, oh my gosh. I said, well, don't worry. I've already taken care of all the animals. He's like, yeah, oh, good. I eventually went upstairs and went to bed. And here he comes. About, gosh, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock, 7:30. He says, I said, hey, how did it go? I said, did you find out anything? He says, no. I went up to the front. About 30 minutes ago, and I said, I'm going home. He was there from 1:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening, you guys. And he still doesn't know. They did get him in to take the X-rays, isn't it? But it doesn't. And he says, well, they had code blue, code this, code that, so it wasn't just him. It was a whole room full of people just were sitting there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Now, my brother-in-law didn't just go to the ER. He was told to go there to be checked out. Anyway, the reason he left, he says, well, if they're letting me sit there for I don't know how long after it can't be that bad. Then it can't be such a bad thing that he has got going on, right? I find that sad, and I hear these stories a lot. I'm not sure what's wrong with our healthcare system when it comes to stuff like that. But to let people sit, regardless on how many other emergencies there are, to let people sit for that many hours, not feeling well. You're going to the ER. Okay, now in my brother's case, they were just worried because, again, what is that? Could it be something that now that it's painful, that is developing into something that needs to be taken care of right away? Who wants to lose a leg? Huh? Okay. Well, in any case, but he said there were other people in there in pain, this and that, and they weren't taken care of either. What's wrong with our healthcare system? It's not the people. I'm sure that they did whatever they could. It's the organization of the people that's not running right. I don't see that in an ER, regardless on what happens, that there aren't at least 2 or 3 people, a doctor and 2 nurses, assigned to just take care of the people who are coming into the ER and sit there. That should be a given. And then the line would be moving on. Right? Yes, that's what I would do. And then everyone else that's also in charge would be, if the emergencies come in and this and that, right? Yes? Okay. Also, in the military, you have backup. Right? There are people who are not in the military anymore, but they're in the reserve. Right? Why not have people out of the hospital in reserve? And when really big accidents or this or that happen, where you need some extra people immediately, you call like substitutes for the school substitutes, teachers who are substitute teachers. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? That a teacher can call and say, "Hey, I got this and this going on. Can you come in and be the teacher for that day?" Why can't they do that at the hospitals as well? Emergency rooms, even in places where it's a pretty big doctor's office or this or that, right? Primary care centers and this and that. Right? Why can't they do that? Have people in reserve and say, look, there may be times where where we're going to call and you need to come in. Have enough on the list that you have at least 2 or 3 or 4 that can come in. That can't be done? No. You let people sit for hours and hours and hours, not feeling well, in a chair. Because what? You don't have enough people. You don't have enough for this or that. No, because you're not organized. You are not organized enough. All right. Okay, done. I think, what I think. I know how this works, okay? I know how people make way more work for themselves than is necessary. And it always has to do with being disorganized. And what suffers under these people is whom and what. Aha! I know I'm not wrong. All right, let's get going here. So, my poor brother-in-law he would, when he got here, he says, I'm more exhausted from just being there and this and that than, because, whatever. Anyway, he got home, he had a good meal, tasted some good bread. Yeah, he was very happy. He says, ooh, that's really good. And we had a little talk, and Both moseyed on to bed. Slept like a baby last night. Yeah. All right. We are in the first book of Kings, 13. The condemnation of the altar in Bethel. There came to Bethel at Yahweh's command a man of God from Judah. At Yahweh's command. Yeah, all right. Just as Jeroboam was standing by the altar to offer the sacrifice, and at Yahweh's command, this man denounced the altar. Uh-huh. Yeah, right. Okay, are you guys hearing this? So Jeroboam makes these calves because he doesn't like, right, for the people to go back to Jerusalem all the time, right? Yes? So he keeps the people, and the people say, oh, cool, yeah, now we don't have to go there, right? And here comes a dude, right, from which side comes and denounces the altar that he has. And makes it sound like, oh, God said, right? Yes? All right, yeah, they should not be there. Okay, I agree. But are you seeing what's going on here? But God doesn't have anything to do with that. All he does is just watch and go, man, I wonder what they're going to come up with next. Yeah, probably would like to say, hey, don't pull me into all of your mess. Yeah? What do I have to do with all that? Yes? If God takes sides. Altar, altar, he said. Yahweh says this. Yeah, right. A son is to be born to the house of David, Josiah by name, and on you he will slaughter the priests of the high places who have offered sacrifice on you, and on you he will burn human bones. God said that. So there isn't a baby going to be born that will bring peace, this and that. No, he's going to come and do what to ya? Okay, gosh. Yeah, okay, whatever. Ugh. At the same time, he gave a sign. This is the sign, he said, that Yahweh has spoken. This altar will burst apart, and the ashes which are on it will be spilt. When the king heard how the man of God denounced the altar of Bethel, he stretched out his hand from the altar, saying, seize him. But the hand he stretched out against the man withered, and he could not draw it back. And the altar burst apart, and the ashes from the altar were spilled, in accordance with the sign given by the man of God at Yahweh's command. Yeah, okay, little fairy tale here. I don't believe that. Not for a minute. The king said to the man of God, I beg you to placate Yahweh your God and to restore me to you the use of my hand. The man of God placated Yahweh. The king's hand was restored as it had been before. Wow, just like that. The king then said to the man of God, come home with me and refresh yourself, and I shall give you a present. But the man of God replied to the king, were you to give me half your palace, I would not go with you. I will eat and drink nothing here, for I have had Yahweh's order. You are to eat or drink nothing, nor to return by the way you came. And he left by another road and did not return by the way he had come to Bethel. To Bethel. Oh, to Bethel. Okay, all right. That's an odd one. Okay, what do I hear out of this one? Yeah. Jeroboam, you're not doing right. Okay, this is not the way to go. This is how they made up the story to say that's not the way to go. And doesn't matter how anybody wants to look at it, that was wrong. To make those two golden calves, that was wrong. That was just wrong. There's one thing, since the Ark of the Covenant is in Jerusalem, right? Both Rehoboam and Jeroboam should realize that we're going to have to come to some kind of an understanding. For whom? For the rest of the people of Israel, right? Well, Jeroboam tried. Rehoboam did what? Yeah. How is it that these two kings are the ones that are making all the decisions, basically, when it comes down to it? Sounds like it. With so little care to do their job right. As what? as someone who wanted to be king. Take over and do what? Care for the people. That should be their main concern. But it doesn't ever seem to be that way, is it? And it never has, really, when it comes down to it. There were a few leaders in this world from way back, this, that, at one point, who one could say, yeah, they have it going in the right direction. Sadly, then the people, the elders that they had, the ministers that they had, were all worried about their what? Riches. And wouldn't support a good king, a good emperor, whatever, right? Yes, if one can say there was ever a good one. Well, anyway, dear me, just sad. This is just sad. This is, as I said, it's in the Bible. The man of God and the prophet. Now there was an old prophet living in Bethel, another one, and his sons. Okay, let's see. A man of God from Judah. It never says who that man was. What's his name? No one knows that dude's name who comes here with and does what? That already tells me it's a fictional story. Here's another one. Now there was an old prophet living in Bethel. Okay, all right. Maybe we'll get the name of that one. And his sons came to tell him all that the man of God had done in Bethel that day, and the words which he had said to the king. They told these to their father too. Which road did he take? Their father asked. His sons showed him the road which the man of God who came from Judah had taken. Saddle the donkeys for me, he said to his sons. They saddled the donkey for him, and he mounted. He followed the man of God and found him sitting under a terebinth. Are you the man of God, he said, who came from Judah? I am. Let's see. Now there was an old prophet. So this is a man of God, and this is an old prophet, okay? Who came from Yeah, I am, he replied. Come home with me, he said, and take some food. I cannot go back with you, he answered, or eat or drink anything here, for I have received Yahweh's order. You are to eat or drink nothing there, nor to return by the way you came. I too am a prophet like you, the other replied. And an angel told me this by Yahweh's command. Bring him back with you to your house to eat and drink. He was lying to him. The man of God went back with. He was lying to him. The man of God went back with him. He ate and drank at his house. As they were sitting at table, a word of Yahweh came to the prophet who had brought him back, and he addressed the man of God who came from Judah. Yahweh says this, he said, since you have defied Yahweh's command and not obeyed the orders which Yahweh your God gave you, but have come back and eaten and drunk where he forbade you to eat and drink, your corpse will never reach the tomb of your ancestors. Oh my God, what? After he had eaten and drunk, the prophet saddled the donkey for him, and he turned about and went away. A lion met him on the road and killed him. His corpse lay stretched out on the road. The donkey stood there beside it. The lion stood by the corpse too. People going by saw the corpse lying on the road and the lion standing by the corpse, and went and spoke about it in the town where the old prophet lived. When the prophet who had made the man turn back about it, he said, that is the man of God who defied Yahweh's command. Yahweh has handed him over to the lion, which has mauled and killed him, just as Yahweh had foretold it would. He said to his son, saddle the donkey for me, and they saddled it. He set off and found the man's corpse lying on the road with the donkey and the lion standing beside the corpse. The lion had neither eaten the corpse nor mauled the donkey. The prophet lifted the corpse off the man of God and put it on the donkey and brought it back to the town where he lived to hold mourning for him and bury him. He laid the corpse in his own tomb, and they raised a mourning cry for him. Allah's my brother. After burying him, the prophet said to his sons, when I die, bury me in the same tomb as the man of God. Lay my bones beside his. for the word he uttered at Yahweh's command against the altar of Bethel and against all the shrines of the high places in the towns of Samaria, will certainly come true. Jeroboam did not give up his wicked ways after this incident, but went on appointing priests for the high places from the common people. He consecrated as priests of the high places any who wished to be. Such conduct made the house of Jeroboam a sinful house and caused its ruin and extinction from the face of the earth. Okay. Wow. Okay, one could say so much about this, but really, from what you guys have heard so far from me, what would I say to all that? First of all, if you are sure you're in the service of God, and you're not just doing things according to, who says that? First of all, no names. Wow, that's interesting. No names. The only name that we know besides Jeroboam in all of this is who? Josiah. Ah, interesting. Yes, okay. So we already know the baby who's not born yet, but that will be born, that name we already know. But otherwise, nobody, none of these prophets, men of God, prophets of God, of Yahweh, and what? They don't know who they are? Are you kidding me? Okay. So, fairy tales, yes. May have there been some things happening? Yes. So if it were true, if these stories were true, and there may be some kernel of truth in there of someone having traveled and, okay. And the thing, what did I say about the change? Be guided by God, right? Yes? Listen to, wait a minute. I had this thought. Thoughts can be guidance by God. Okay, all right, people. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, we've talked about this before. And so this could be that there was someone or even a group of people who went and said, "Man, Jeroboam, what are you doing?" Right? Or it could just be all right instructed by Rehoboam. Yeah? Well, he had all them young men around him, and sure enough, they're going to say, hey, let's do this, right? We're going to send someone out and say, and let Jeroboam know what's going to happen. And of course, then, right, after what happened at the altar in Bethel, surely Jeroboam wouldn't want anyone to go back and tell Rehoboam what happened, right? So that then Rehoboam could tell the people, look what's happening there. Do you see what happened to that king? Okay, you get it? It's like this, gossip, slander, rumors, what evil in this world. And my question to the man of God, who came from Jerusalem to Bethel to talk to Jeroboam at the altar and kind of, curse the altar, when he was sitting there and this other guy comes and says, hey, I'm a prophet too. What's happening now? Now the other side is like, oh, let's fool him like he fooled us, kind of thing. God told me, come on back with me. And what? That man of God that came from Jerusalem doesn't say, well, God didn't say anything to me. Well, God had a whole lot to say to him beforehand. That then he went and told whom? Right? To Jeroboam at the altar. Now I don't know what. Now here comes some dude he doesn't know, right? And though he's not supposed to do this or that, according to, well, as I said, if there's some kernels of truth in there. And I was, God told you? Oh, God told you I should do this anyway. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's go then. Right? And the other guy says, you were not supposed to do that. And I'm telling you what, on your way home now, they had enough time. Huh? Yeah, a lion. Yeah. Who knows? People were waiting for him. If he would have just gone off and not taken the road, right? He said not to take the road back as he came. Right? He could have made it back, maybe. Right? But he took enough time at that other dude's house that what? They were laying in wait for him. They that story had spread and they knew. Okay, just saying. And see how that works? Well, anywho, interesting. He could have just said, "Nah, it's all right. I'm going to keep going right now," and they might have killed him. I don't know. Maybe they killed him right then and there. I don't know. Right? Yes, we don't know. It's just a story. Sounds like it's just a story. It's a fairy tale from that time. To give some kind of a lesson in what? You got to trust God. Again, it always goes back to what? The guidance of God. And that's the only guidance that you will take. Right? Yes? But how does one know? It ain't rocket science. I always have to go back to the Ten Commandments, don't I? That's where you start. Then the Lord's Prayer. Then the family pledge. There is all the guidance you need. Well, anyway. Well, that is it for today. Story time. Interesting story time, though, in many ways. Yeah. The one thing, too, that came to my mind when this one man of God from Jerusalem going to Bethel said, when he was invited to eat and drink, and he was given a condition. Nope, don't do that. I found that in my life, conditions are amazing. And they can be 3 days, 1 day. I mean, they can be of anything where you commit to something, sacrifice something. For example, a meal a day, right? And you do it, or you read in the Bible every day as a condition. As I said, now it's not just, oh, let's see what God has to give me, or what do I need to know, or what should I read up on? No, it's a condition where it says, I'm going to read this book in the Bible every day, a little something until it's done. All right, every day. That's a big commitment to every day do it, right? All right, I'm going to read, my condition is to read this book in the Bible, and I'm going to do that until it's done. This is what I will be reading, and I will do it as I get to it, kind of, yes? And give yourself some time if that's what you need. No, your condition does not, or just say, I'm going to do it every day. Oh, then what if you're sick and you can't do it that one day, or something else happens? Okay, time in spirit world ain't the time here. Okay, so yes, you have some leeway there. Right? Anyway, and oh my God, I can't remember how many conditions. I think that's how I screwed up my knees. A lot of bowing, a lot of time on my knees. I don't even, but every one of them that I did, it's like your mind, it is your mind that just expands. And it expands in this really amazing good way. Yes? And of course your heart's always affected by it. And the thing is, we think we can't do anything for the dead anymore. The dead are gone, we're all sad and grieving, but that's not true. You'd be amazed on the experiences that you will have starting to do things like that. As I said, there's so many of them. You can make, if it's on the side of goodness, if it's doing something for someone else, not you, okay, yourself, that you're doing for somebody else. And one, of course, can always start with what? Father, I'm going to start a condition of saying the Lord's Prayer every day for 120 days. How about the whole year? I've made conditions where I sang a song. that one for a whole year. Every day. That was rough. To find, because I was traveling at that time as well. But I did it. I did it in so many different places. Ah. Anyway. I believe that in the way that I understand spirit world and my heavenly parents, Jesus, true parents, and then in the way that I created my conditions, of course I do that. I'm my own individual self. I'm going to do things, right? Yes, on how it works for me in a way, right? Yes, and what I'm inspired by. Right? I don't have to do exactly something like somebody else does or they're being told to do. I can do whatever I want as long as it's on the side of goodness, as long as it's done for others, and as long as I commit to it and take responsibility. I believe that when it comes to restoring marriage, yes, husband and wife, this and that I have almost two. One is a to be, but I have an amazing son-in-law. Amazing. Of course, I have an amazing daughter, but I have an amazing. God gave my daughter, and God gave my son-in-law a really amazing match. My son-in-law, that's a man. That's a true man. The one thing in his life that comes first is his family and the safety of his family. Amazing man. Yes. Yeah. And he's not suppressing my daughter, or he knows what he married. She's very exuberant, and he's very quiet in a way, but just amazing. I'm so grateful, and I believe it's because I have prayed and I made conditions for my daughters and my son too to find a good spouse. Yes. Anywho, so yeah, my other daughter is getting there too. I'm so happy. So yes. Oh, should one expect that when you're doing all these conditions for the world out there, that there always going to be a reward like that? No. But give yourself credit that when certain things are going really well somewhere, and you realize on what gifts are being given into your family, to your descendants. Right? Yes, it's okay to say, yes, all these conditions, all this bowing, all this on my knees, this praying, right? And of course, I always make it enjoyable for myself. As I said, I do things the way I like them. Right? So it doesn't become a chore or just a job that I don't like, have to do. Were well worth it and well done. So my one of my daughters, they started about 2 or 3 years ago. Those two of my daughters got each of their children a elf. Okay, and the elf shows up suddenly sometime during Christmas time. They never know when. And suddenly he's just there. And they love it. Right? I love that. This is a little tradition that they started on their own. Right? I went to that one little junk store. I looked around, And I like things that are kind of older timey looking, homemade looking, okay, but well done as well. And I look, and there is this about this big. Now, there's are only small ones, right? But this big, huh? And absolutely, somebody made that elf, and but it looks just right up my alley, okay? And I'm looking, I'm going, taking this one home. I'm taking this one home. I'm going to set it up somewhere and then take a picture and send it to my daughter. Said, hey, tell the kids, an elf has showed up at my house. Right? Yes? Yeah. Elves. Well, anyway, I like elves. It's different to me than the rest of all that jazz around it. All right. I'm not going to go there. So I named him Bernard. Bernard is our elf. Anyway, my daughter sent me back. Said, "Oh, my mom! Oh, mom! That's really cute. I'm gonna tell the kids." Grozy suddenly had an elf show up at her house too. Right? Okay. What does that do? It connects everybody again a little bit, right? Yes. Okay. There. Anywho, so there is that. Working together in a family is a difficult thing to do, but it needs to be done. That's what we as elders are here for. Yes? Right. That's all I have to share this morning. I probably could go on and on and on and on and on and on with nothing and everything, and I got to get going. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.